So the good news is, I don't know if you know this, but there is a plot summary for this movie on the Swan Princess Wikia.
Got saved again by the fans.
Are there even fans for these movies? That's a conversation we have to talk about, because the callbacks in this are crazy.
There is so much.
And I'm fully convinced that there are 2 human beings that have watched these movies straight through, and no one else. Like, I think even Richard Rich has skipped them.
Like, hey, Rich, do you think they call him Rich, or do you think he hates that? Mr. Rich, please. Like, hey, Rich, do you want to watch over the movie just one time just to see what it even is? Nah. I trust you guys.
Welcome to Direct-to-Video VHS podcast where we repair movies like fine wine. I am your host.
We're going vintage.
So, going
back to the basement. I'm brushing off these bottles, and I don't think they're ready to drink, but we're drinking them.
Yeah, this is vinegar.
This is grape juice and vinegar. We watched
The Swan Princess, Royally Undercover. You have to pronounce the colon so everybody knows what to expect.
Yeah.
Because this movie is a colon.
I cannot tell you how weird it was watching this movie for me, because over the past month, I decided that I was going to replay the Spider-Man game on my PlayStation. The PlayStation 4, because I finished Miles Morales up. Like I finished Miles Morales like in January, and I was like, I want to go back and play the original one just to see if it's, if the things that I didn't like about it still hold up, and like, because I remember it being pretty good.
My issues with it are like mostly political, and it's mostly good on that stuff, except for some bits where it takes a big whiff.
Yeah, here's the thing is when it misses, it strikes out. But like, I feel like the main, like, there was a moment as I was playing that game where I was like, I don't remember the plot of this game very well because it's been a couple of years. If the plot of this game is that a group of Chinese coded villains are releasing a bioweapon virus in New York City,
No, there is an important second step there, but also that game did come out like right at the edge of the pandemic.
2018, I think.
Was it 2018? Okay, well,
yeah.
When I was playing it felt extremely prescient. And like there was a lot of stuff, there's that stuff, and there's a lot of police state stuff that felt very 2020.
It's one of those things where like it's so tone deaf sometimes, and some of that stuff is like they didn't know. Like if the game gets to a point where it's like no, it's okay. The virus was actually made by a prominent politician in the United States. And I was like, I don't know if this is a solution to the plot problem, but
not only that, but it is eventually released by somebody else.
Yeah. I do like the Doc Ock stuff in that game. I think it's really good.
I don't know, Doc Ock's great. That might legitimately be my favorite version of Doc Ock. And I'm including both movie versions.
Yeah. What are the... Oh, yeah. Into
Doc
the Spider-Verse. But I was really weird playing Spider-Man and then booting up Royally Undercover and then just hearing Spider-Man and Mary Jane just like... just talking to each other and being like, oh yeah.
I forget that Laura Bailey is also Mary Jane. This will be the last time she does a Swan Princess movie. I guess by 2017 she was officially getting too big for him.
Not Yuri Lowenthal though. He did one of these after he did the Spider-Man game, which feels like a lot.
Look, he just really loves him. You know?
Derek holds a special place in his heart. So yeah, that was weird.
That is weird. I hadn't considered that aspect.
It was an odd thing to just every time they spoke. And thankfully they're not in the movie much.
No, and it's frankly pretty weird, especially because Odette stays at home for the entirety of the climax for no reason.
for no reason. So this is the first movie that I've watched where Mavis actually stuck around for the whole thing. And
oh, wow. She made the wrong choice, because I was longing for the Disney fairy movies.
Oh, yeah, this hard. Is so... here's the thing, though, is towards the end of the movie, she looks over at me, she's like, so... how long has it been since since there was like any sort of turning into a swan?
Oh my god, like 3 movies, right?
I was like, it's been so long since we've had anybody, not only since the Swan Princess has turned into a swan, but we have a new princess who is our main character, has never turned into a swan.
Yes, since the Christmas movie is the answer.
It's been so long, right? And
nobody turns into a swan in the one... I don't know if you recall, but it felt like they were trying to retcon Odette as always being the Swan Princess in a royal family tale, where she was, where the Swan Princess, quote unquote, was on a prophecy.
Somebody needs to turn in, like, I need somebody to turn into a swan before we're getting, like, we've had more movies now, more Swan Princess movies now that have no swans in them than we have had Swan Princess movie with swans in them. And that's
1, 2, 3.
Absurd.
No, that's not true. So far we've had 3 movies without swans and 4 with swans.
Oh, have we had 4 with swans? Really?
So in the original 2 sequels, she turned into a swan each time, because that's how you keep it going. And then in the Swan Princess Christmas, it was just the Swan Princess again, but bad.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Remember, they just killed Rothbard by singing a Christmas carol, I think.
I legitimately couldn't tell you. So, let's get into it, I guess. An Assassin's Creed is...
Okay, so I know you just said let's get into this, but I do have to immediately pause. These movies... This movie does this thing like 15 times, where suddenly it is like watching a playthrough of a video game that you don't care about very much. And yes, it kicks it off with an Assassin's Creed.
It feels like they're pulling from a lot of bags.
Yeah. It does a Skyrim pretty hard a little later, where Elise just goes on a side quest for a while.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Sorry, Assassin's Creed.
The Assassin's Creed is climbing up this dam, and
Mr. Creed.
Yes, Mr. Creed. He has the worm from Star Wars Episode 2, I guess. Or for a more recent or a more ancient reference, he has a hunter seeker from Dune. Like, whatever, pick with your reference, it doesn't matter. He drills a hole into the dam, which is apparently made of most, like, 90% wood and, like, 10% stone, which is, like, if you have...
It seems to be damming up a pretty big river. Also, just in general, I would not build...
A town? A capital?
A town, a kingdom, maybe? Just, like, straight up under a dam.
No.
That seems wild.
You build that shit,
even when there's a dam, there's usually some water flow.
Yeah, right? Like, this dam is completely gunking up the works, which, 1, ecological disaster, but 2, just, they were asking for this to happen. If it wasn't going to happen today, it was going to happen in, like, 20 years.
But luckily, it gets to happen, not today, but tomorrow. It's a slow burn of a plan. This plan is so dumb. There are too many steps.
No, it's ridiculous. But it's not and yet, not the dumbest plan in the movie. It turns out that Derek and the Swan Princess herself, Odette,
and a random guy who they brought along,
the chef, who I know that I should remember this guy because I'm sure he was somebody in, like, the Christmas movie, but I just don't care.
I mean, who remembers the chef character from the Christmas movie?
Right? So they are visiting this kingdom because they're signing an agreement, I guess?
Sure.
A peace agreement or something? I don't know.
Probably. They get real horny for peace. Except not horny because they refuse to have sex.
No, they're these two, Derek and Odette have the chemistry of
Spider-Man and Mary Jane.
Yeah, like a nun and a priest who are just really good friends.
Yeah.
The nun and a priest that love playing Christian rock and spreading the good word.
You gotta imagine they're just basically a Ken doll and a Barbie doll down there. Which is weird because other characters are allowed to be horny.
Yeah, or to have some amount of like romantic interest in each other.
Yes, but not Odette and Derek. They are the platonic ideal of married people, I guess.
Oh my god, yeah. The perfect platonic couple. They're visiting this kingdom for whatever reason. The king's giving a speech, and we are introduced also at this point to Count Antonio.
Count Antonio, one, very clearly the villain. Just immediately off the bat, so villain-coded. But two, also the only character who looks at all okay in this animation.
He looks here because he was designed for it, right? Like
that was my thought, but so was Elise, and she still looks like shit.
But I thought Bruno designed it looks good in this animation, but also does not look like he belongs in this movie. He looks like he belongs in he looks like he belongs in a Skyrim.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. But here's Antonio, and he is just like an older, sexy man who is so clearly evil, but it's also, as it goes on, really unclear why he needs to be evil.
We know two things about this guy. Evil, Hispanic. That's it. Maybe French.
You connect the dots that you want to connect there.
Yeah, exactly. Apparently, everybody was just besties with Odette's dad. That's weird.
I actually really like the idea that, like, everybody can claim to be besties with Odette's dad because he's dead.
And she doesn't know. She wasn't there.
She goes to this thing and everybody's talking about how great her dad was. And here's the thing. She does not care. She is not giving anybody who talks about her dad the time of day. And it's a very weird... It's a very weird thing to be happening, but I kind of enjoyed it. I always enjoy the weirder shit about these movies because the actual plots and characters and everything is just so boring that you have to find something to hone in on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, I usually... This movie is kind of competently animated, which frustrated me because then I had to find something else. That's usually what I go to, is like, wow, this animation's so bad, but...
I was pretty furious when I saw some, like, good 2D animation styles in this bad 3D animation. I was like, what do I even do about this?
Ah, man. There's some great 2D art in this movie. At some point in the middle of this speech... Derek notices that there's some water running through the city, and I don't know.
Just, like, wanders off toward it. What bothers me is, like, so this has been leaking all day, and nobody noticed, but also there should be a lot less pressure under it. There's no reason for it to suddenly burst now. But then it suddenly bursts, obviously, because it was noticed.
As soon as it was noticed, the timed charges went off. We get to watch a kid just completely get owned. This kid just like...
There was a long moment where we didn't see that kid anymore, and I thought he was straight up dead.
I was like, whoa, this kid is gone for good. This town also has escape ladders ready to go.
Sometimes these movies get unnecessarily and strangely dark. Like when Elise's dad exploded.
Oh, yeah.
It's just so that Dirk and Odette could have an orphan.
We just need one, and thankfully, that's some suspicious circumstances, though. To this day, I think that was some framing. They let that man die.
Sorry, go on. They have the escape ladders.
Yeah, because they knew that this shit would break.
And yet everybody seems to get out of it, so I guess the escape ladders work. So that's good infrastructure there, considering your dam just fell apart.
Yeah, everybody except this shit-ass kid who has to get saved by Antonio. Who then proceeds to heroically toss him to Derek. He gets swept away by the water. And maybe is dead? No, he's fine.
He's fine. In fact, he fucking teleports. And it is not explained how or why that happened. He's suddenly at the top of the ladder, like above Derek.
Well, when you got a mustache like that, you can just go anywhere you want.
apparently.
Yeah, for dramatic effect. Everybody's like, wow, look at these two heroes.
God, yeah, everybody gets horny for heroics again because it's the only thing Derek can do. I don't care. And then the next scene, it looks like Uberta died. Were you very excited that Uberta was dead? Because I was.
I was hoping for it, but unfortunately, no.
No, fucking Rogers was just patting. He was like, the whole kingdom was gathered, and he was like, "Your queen, Uberta." And I was like, "Ooh, interesting."
Wow, they're going. He's just.
She's just gonna ask them to give money to this busted ass kingdom, even though she should just give money to the kingdom and tax them. That's how this works. Yeah, this is some shit, right? So they've agreed with Antonio that they're both going to raise funds to and supplies to rebuild this kingdom because God, somebody has to, and we have to put good back into this world or some shit. And the plan is for the people of Umberta's kingdom to donate money and supplies, like random boots they have sitting around, toys for the kids,
and it's like no. You buy this shit. You tax these people. You cannot tax these people and also ask them to donate money. Like, what are you, the Democratic Party? Like, come on. You have to. I'm sorry. You have to pay for this out of the coffers.
I thought you were doing your Type 5 on the Democratic Party.
I'm always doing my Type 5.
That's Andy. It's a real loose 5.
I gotta loosen that 5. I don't like this. Where are we going with this?
It's bad. Anyway, yeah, it's dumb that this is what they're doing.
It makes no sense, but whatever, right? Let's buy in that this is what's happening. How fucking rich is this kingdom?
Crazy rich. There's some people walking around with gold to pour into these boxes and some really underwhelming music behind it. Here's the good thing about this movie. Let me tell you the one good thing about this movie. 3 songs.
Oh, yeah.
3 songs, which is so much less than most of the songs.
Yes, absolutely. And one of them is so wildly done that I kind of liked it. Not because the music was good, the music was bad, but because I was... my mouth was agape because I was like, is this really happening to me right now?
The choice made.
I was having an out-of-body experience. Yeah, we get this like Christian rock ballad. Everybody's donating money. Jesus is coming inside of us and we're giving it out. But and then we get the weirdest side plot that this movie could have possibly introduced for no reason, which is that what's this fucking kid's name? Lucas, who was trapped on an island, is
just back home with his parents, who apparently, even though at one point they were so destitute they had to get rid of their kid, now not only do they still sell flowers, but they have like so many flowers. They seem to like own a few meadows or something.
They have like a tulip field that is the size of a small country. It goes on to the horizon, and like the kickback program that Odette gave them must have been really good.
I mean, they don't want Lucas homeless again. He's at least his only friend.
But also, they're trying to set these 2 kids up. They are doing the, like, we should make our best friends. We should make these kids hang out so that when they get older, they can hang out thing, which is, don't do this. Don't do this to kids.
I mean, okay, yeah, don't do that, whatever. But Lucas's parents are poor as hell, or at least know what that feels like. And yeah, they're gonna try to get their kid married off to a princess. Why not?
Yeah, because this is the good shit. But Lucas is ashamed. It's dumb.
Okay, but it's straight up the most interesting thing about Lucas. But they don't have anything to do with it. They just like put it out there as a plot point, and then it is not examined because it's not what the story is about. The story is about them going on a dumb spy mission. Yeah, but it also makes no sense because hey, like, dude, Elise was also a peasant. Like, yes, it would be good if somebody mentioned that. If somebody was like, hey, Lucas, you know, you're kind of being an insensitive fuck because Elise watched her dad explode. And that's why she's a princess. You Some remember people have that she's an orphan, right? Like, you don't... I know she was adopted, so orphan might be a bit strong, but once your dad explodes, you're an orphan. I don't care. You're an orphan if your dad explodes. Absolutely. If I've learned anything from fantasy media is that anything can happen to your mom, but as soon as your dad explodes, you're an orphan. That's how it works. That's why Aladdin's not an orphan.
That's why. Oh, shit. Yeah, Lucas is being weird, and also he knows Morse code. This is going to come back. And so Antonio and Bruno stop by the castle with a ship because they're providing the ship to ship all of these things to...
They're providing the ship? All right, this plan was monumentally stupid. It's his ship. Why does he... Never mind, forget it.
Why don't they just use their own fucking ships? They have some.
Look. If they don't have any ships, whatever. They should. Their oceanside kingdom. But if he said, oh, I will provide the ships, I can carry so much on my ships, then fine. His plan should be to get the gold on his ship and then just leave. But I know for a fact that he steals the gold later. Even though it's supposed to be on his ship. He just had to wait.
Also, we learn his full name. Movie. Do you remember this guy's full name? His God-given name?
I do, because I think I had the same reaction as you did when come think of it, I don't know if I learned his last name or the name of his kingdom, which might be something like Fantonio? No, Bromerio?
Borromeo.
Borromeo? Antonio Borromeo.
Which...
just massively stupid.
No. If a writer comes to me with that name, I am so sorry, but like, I'm kicking you off the union, dude. Like, no.
Look,
get back in there.
But maybe it could have been good if there was like a bow on it. But here's the thing, this was clearly just a joke for the writers because it is said literally once. And nobody ever makes a comment about it.
I don't know. I feel like if you get like, I don't know. This is down this road leads madness, right? Because then you have to get like, I don't know, Rouliette, Beau Juliet, right? Like you can't name people like this.
I mean, it's dumb, but it turns out you can. Look, Andy, you can't blame these writers for anything. As far as I can tell, they are locked in a basement and hopped up on cocaine the whole time that they're writing these.
just Richard Rich, just like pumping a room full of amphetamines while because they had like Brian Nissen just locked in there.
So the thing about Antonio is he's hot, right? He's a hot older gentleman. He's the only character who looks any good. And so Berta immediately gets horned for him. Here's the thing, though. Just a second earlier, basically, Rogers was using a telescope, it seemed like, in her room?
In her bedroom?
In her bedroom while she was asleep. So I had assumed that between this movie and the last movie, they had just gotten married.
Yeah, I thought at the very least, right? Like you're at consort status,
right?
But no, she tosses him aside like yesterday's trash, and Antonio is immediately like turning on the moves, which Derek is there the whole time that this happens.
Okay, Count Antonio is shameless, and I kind of love it, especially because later in the movie, it's not even like a heel turn or or them showing that he's the bad guy. Later in the movie, he, in a secret meeting with who is he, Rufus?
Bruno. With Bruno, his only friend, he says, she can't expect me to marry her, I'm a shameless flirt. And that's like the twist, that he's a flirt. How could somebody be nice to women but not want to be in love with them?
Seriously.
Forever. Because I'm a child. This is how children think. And don't get me wrong, what Antonio is doing is fraud. Is it fraud? It's definitely taking advantage.
There's some fraud, there's some theft. He has the most buck-wild plan that you can imagine, except for the other plan, which is also buck-wild, but only because it involves children. But, like, it meant that the whole time I was watching this movie, I wished Antonio would be revealed to be not a bad dude, because that would make the whole thing way more interesting.
Yeah, and then it's just a movie about, like, just this, like, suave dude and how, like, yeah, like, this is kind of shitty, but, like, you know.
He's allowed to be, like, kind of shitty. It's not even that shitty, really. It's just a normal amount of shitty. He's just flirtatious.
Lord Rogers is so upset about this.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to Derek to complain, and his immediately jumps to, I think this guy is literally Satan.
Yeah, and I wonder why Derek doesn't take him seriously.
It's a bit much to jump from, I don't like this guy, I don't like this guy's deal, I don't like his jive, and I don't like that the queen likes him. To jump from that to, he's Satan, to time to recruit some child soldiers.
Child soldiers, like you do. So he recruits some child soldiers, to jump ahead a little bit. He recruits Lucas and Elise and all of the animals in the dumbest scenes. It made me so furious.
This was this like fake ass Mission Impossible music, fucking MIDI, and like they're wearing sunglasses that look like they were bought off of like a secondhand video game asset store. Like
the whole thing is really rough, and it really undercuts any amount of either jokes or action in those scenes. I feel like if this movie is ever any good, like the core of this movie, there were parts in the pirate one that were fun, and it was because like Elise had stolen a pirate ship, like stuff like that. And I feel like if this movie was ever going to be fun, it had to like let Elise breathe as a character, and it just doesn't.
No.
It spent so much time with Roberts and Uberta, and somebody thinks those two are funny. It gets kind of sad. It's kind of just sad. Anyway, they recruit all these people. There is a really rough Q scene.
Yeah, Lord Rogers shows off his bow ties and his necklace, and I think that's it.
It's just bow ties and a necklace. There are like 30,000 bow ties later that we never learn about. There's also like at least one Spider-Man-ass like rope launching thing, which we also don't know about. It's like the people who made this movie did not understand the point of a Q scene.
Yeah, because he doesn't introduce those. They just get to have them.
You have to tell me the weapons. You can't just say, oh, there's the fan one and the smoke pellet one. You gotta give me all of them. You can't just... Alright, it doesn't matter.
I don't even know where to be. So Roger's plan is that they are going to try and prevent Antonio and Umberta's relationship from developing any further, while at the same time, Elise and Lucas trick their way into the kingdom of, because I just genuinely don't remember what the fuck it's called, Borromeo.
Yes, which they refer to as Antonio's kingdom, which since he's not the actual king there, and they already gave a joke name to it, feels very weird, but whatever.
Whatever.
They're going to go over there and find out what Antonio's hiding, which is wild. Because what's it going to... Is something just going to be sitting out? Or is henchmen just going to be actively talking about what they're doing and who they're working for? Yes, obviously. But they shouldn't be. There's no spying in this spy.
No. We get like a short... There's also no like deductive reasoning in this either, because they get some pretty fucking hard evidence.
Yes, immediately we know everything that's happening. So, okay, to be fair, there is some spying, but it's like when the prince stumbles upon Rumpelstiltskin singing a song about how his name is Rumpelstiltskin. It's like that level of spying. Let's talk about the plan to get them there. They're going to appeal to Odette and Derek's sense of, I don't know, being morons.
Charity?
Sure. By saying, oh, we want to bring all the kids' toys over first before all the money. Because, we love giving. We just love giving. We're so excited for it. And Derek says, but who would take you? And Rogers does not have an answer to this. He was just going to send those kids off.
By themselves.
Just these two kids by themselves. They were going to walk, I guess? This is nothing. This is terrible.
But then
Bruno's like, oh, I can take them. And Rogers is like, shit, no, he's Antonio's friend. But no, it's too late. He can't backtrack this.
It is wild to me that was never part of the plan, but okay.
There was no plan for either, like, getting away from Bruno or for trying to get somebody else to take them or anything. I thought Rogers was going to volunteer. But no, he has to stay home and spy on the Queen for no reason.
Yeah, with his, like, perverted vent shafts that he invented solely for the purpose of peeking.
Because he knew one day he would meet a talking frog who he could stick in the vent shafts.
He invented vent shafts.
He invents a lot of things. I think at one point they made Rogers a tinkerer, and then they just made it so that he could have literally anything. Like, in the next movie, there might be a car. I wouldn't be too surprised.
There was a point in this movie where I thought they had a plane, and I was like, oh no, it's a submarine. Okay, thank God. Because if this was a plane...
A submarine is still kind of a stretch.
The idea of a submarine has been around long enough in history that I'd be like, you know what? Fine, you can have a submarine.
I thought it was going to be a blimp.
I mean, they do have a blimp, sort of. The kids try to trick Bruno into taking them to Borromeo, and he's like, nah, it's dumb. It's stupid.
No, that's dumb. We're not doing that, obviously. I don't know why you just said that stupid thing to me. Anyway, let's go to wherever the other place was.
Yeah, we're going to go to the other place instead. But, oh, give me a second. It's nighttime. I'm just going to pull over to the side of the road and fall asleep sitting up.
Over to the side of the road, sleeps sitting up, and then appears to be surprised that he had fallen asleep and that the kids are gone. They left a note because they're actually really bad at this.
So he sends hunting dogs after them.
Mm-hmm.
And is like, don't hurt the kids. Like, yeah, these hunting dogs aren't going to hurt the kids. But don't worry, these kids outsmart these hunting dogs. They do a switcheroo on them.
Yeah, they seem to hang the hunting dogs from a tree, which is pretty brutal if you think about it for any amount of time.
Now, these are some pretty big dogs.
Also, how do they hang them from the tree? I know, they show me how they hang them from the tree. But I don't think the physics works.
Yeah, they fish them up with like with bacon, like they're fucking cod, but then pull them into the branch somehow. I don't know.
Also, the thing that appears to be the thing they are hooked by are their own closed jaws. It's not like they tied their jaws together or something. Like, they did not need to go all the way up that tree.
These dogs are smarter, right, than the dog that, like, tried to take the bone from its own reflection, but still incredibly stupid. Like, they're not going to let go of that bacon. Bruno immediately tells Antonio that he fucked up, he lost the kids, and Antonio slaps him.
And he's like, those kids are going to find out everything. And if your international espionage plan is that easy to find out, it's a bad plan. These children are going to discover your plan? Why don't you just send a bird to your kingdom and be like, hey, when you see these kids, just, like, grab them and send them home?
At this point in the movie, I was convinced that Bruno was going to have a heel face turn.
No, but he doesn't.
If he doesn't, and that's wild to me because, like, I don't know, if I'm this guy's best friend and he slaps me in the face with his robot hand. Oh, he has a robot hand, by the way.
Does he? I didn't even notice. God, this movie's boring.
I don't think he has a robot. He has like two of his fingers are robotic. They never. I don't know. It's just there.
I don't think it's ever talked about.
No, it's just there so that you know that he is the assassin from the beginning of the movie, who also has two robot fingers.
Bruno is. There's even a moment at the end where they're like, why are you doing this? And he's like, because I made a decision a long time ago or something. And like, I don't need the deep, dark backstory of Bruno. You're not going to get me anything by saying, oh, he's mysterious.
Yeah, like, I know I'm never going to see this character again. Why do any of this? But he gets Hitman 3 murdered, so I guess it's fine.
That is so funny because I was watching this with Jamie and she also said it reminded her of Hitman 3.
Did she also point out how much like the guy from Hitman this like marquee looked?
You know, I don't think she did. I was trying to figure out who that reminded me of, and I think it might just be the guy from Hitman. I just kept thinking, like, this is a video game character. Like, he looks like a video game model more than anybody else.
You know what else he kind of looked like?
He looks like Agent 47.
He looks like Agent 47.
Clothes, and he's just... Like, he's gotta assassinate the king later.
Right? Exactly. I was like, damn, this guy looks more evil than Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh god. So the kids get to the kingdom of Borromeo. They trick the dockmaster into. Trick is a strong word. They go, hey, come look at this illegal ship that's not here. And he goes and looks.
Like, an illegal ship, and there's no ship. So he's like, well, okay, I'm turning around and not listening to this dumbass kid.
But thankfully, Elise is able to look at the logs enough to be like, no, he hasn't sent any ships to this other kingdom, whose name escapes me. In the past, like ever, he just hasn't sent ships.
Sure, he just hasn't sent them. Who cares?
Yeah, and to me, right, if I'm there, it's like cool. He's a liar. Nothing he says or anybody says about him can be trusted. But they're not done spying yet. They go to talk to the king, and Elise asks him if he trusts Antonio, which is. It's one of those things where it's just like, she's not asking him, hey, do you know about any of this charity shit?
Right. I guess that's true. She doesn't even ask, like, hey, I didn't see any ships going to the place where we know the ships are supposed to go. Is anything up with that? Is there, like, another log I should be looking into or something? She says literally, do you trust Antonio? And the king, who, as it turns out later, is playing the long game...
Oh, this king is playing such a long game.
Says yeah, which honestly really endangers these children. So maybe he should have thought about that response a little bit, or like had a private moment with Elise or something. He doesn't even try. He's like, I know that's Agent 47 standing behind me the whole time, so I'm not going to say anything to set him off.
Yeah, I don't want to accidentally activate him with his code phrase. But before they leave, he asks them to please, hey, by the way, I need you to look for my cat. He's gone missing. Just to roll back a little bit.
Yes.
Bird.
Puffin,
thank you.
Puffin. It's literally his name. It's a very bad name. The longer we get into these movies, the more I dislike the name.
Puffin has been sent to go scope out the kingdom, and he has found...
Which is weird, because why send Puffin to scope out the kingdom if you're also sending the kids? In fact, why not just send Puffin, a literal bird, who will not be, like, seen as a threat?
Yeah, he's just a bird.
Yeah, he manhandles number 9 like a piece of garbage. The fucking cop.
Oh, man, he fucking hog-ties number 9?
It's miserable. Number 9, the valiant return of number 9, is also very underwhelming.
I think it's amazing.
Number 9 gets nothing to do in this movie. He doesn't even get, like, a character that he can, like, bounce off of, which was what made him good in the other movie, right? He was, like, the only shining light in a miserable movie, because while everybody else was just doing Swan Princess again, he was like, hey, fuck everything. I'm tied to this ghost.
No, number 9 is aware of their place in life now. I have one life left. I'm going to spend it in the lap of luxury, thank you.
Good for him.
And the king has this massive portrait. It is the most amazing thing I have ever seen. It is the best art I've seen in any of these movies, is this portrait of number 9 in this, like, Caesarian costume.
It's good. It's good. Number 9 had a lot of fun posing for that.
I want the raw file, right? I want the raw digital painting the artists for this movie you made. So I could print it out and hang it up on my wall. To scale. But also, number 9 looks terrible in this movie.
Yeah, so I can't remember if he looked terrible in the other movie. The other movie, everything looked terrible. But
yeah.
Here's the thing, he still looks like a street cat. Like, he's not getting enough food or anybody to brush him or anything. But he's living in a castle. He should be getting food and a brush.
Oh, yeah. He should have had a little tum.
A little
fat tum. You know?
Oh, a little tum, sure. Like cats get their little guts.
Yeah.
Because they have like extra skin there or something.
We went to a friend's house a couple months ago, and their cat over the pandemic has gotten unhealthily large, just because they haven't been able to give it enough exercise. So they had to like they're putting him on a diet and like getting him to exercise more, right? Playing with him a little bit more to try and like get the weight down. But he had gotten so large that at one point while we were visiting, I dropped something on the floor because I'm a clumsy piece of shit.
Sure.
And it scared him. And he went to go hide underneath a little ottoman, but got stuck trying to get under.
Oh, no.
And then just stayed there like, I guess this is it. This is the end for me. And it was like I dropped a little ping pong ball, dude. Like I don't even remember what it was I dropped actually. It was something plastic because it didn't even break, but I felt so bad for him. That's what number 9 should be though, right? Like just
it would be fun if number 9 was a big fat cat now and had to like do this secret mission and be like, okay, I'm coming. I can do this. I used to be a street cat. Like
I used to outrun these guys for brunch. It would have made the scene where he goes after the fish a lot better too. So the kids go to the docks under number 9's tutelage to scope out what's going on.
And number 9 just brings them to the fish import area. Yeah, they're not selling there. Because if they were selling there, the whole jig would be up. Because they're using the fish for smuggling, which I knew they were doing, so I must have seen it in other media before, but I can't tell you where.
Was that a Pirates of the Caribbean?
No, I don't think so. They never smuggle in Pirates of the Caribbean. They just, like, shoot each other and take their gold.
I guess so. I haven't seen those movies in so long.
But so I don't know where I've seen it. I don't know if it was in good media or bad media, or like if it's even like a reasonable thing, or if the people who watch this movie just watch the same movies I do, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I know that we're in Treasure Island, they hide like all of their weapons and stuff in the food, right? In the food crates.
Right. It's fine. It's whatever. So they're smuggling gold.
And stolen stuff.
And
right?
Stolen stuff.
Like
the
paintings
stuff in the fish is
and
mostly gold.
It's mostly gold, but there's also like paintings and chests and other stuff there. It doesn't make sense. Like they're not redistributing this money into the kingdom, right? They're just keeping it there, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they are just going to walk away with it eventually. But it does beg the question, like, why is this happening in this way? There's a big illegal import thing happening. But why? If they're just going to take the money and run, why even bother getting it into the kingdom at all?
Yeah, take it to your secret island or something.
Take it to your secret island.
We find out later that Antonio's end game is taking over the kingdom as its new regent.
So why does he need a bunch of money for that anyway?
Yeah, the money doesn't help him do that. Like, he's not using it to, like, buy off the guards. He uses it to, like, buy off the Marquis, I guess. But, like, if the Marquis takes out the king, right?
Which he doesn't. He has a moment where it looks like he might, but he just doesn't.
Just doesn't do it. He refuses. This movie is, because it's a children's movie, right? It's so allergic to, like, murder, but, like, in a way where none of these plans make sense.
Because if they were going to murder the king or murder these children when they catch them, that would make more sense. But instead, they're standing around like, okay, so Elise and Lucas, they see this they see this scam and get caught and thrown in a fucking dungeon that these people have. Okay, sure, bad people have dungeons, whatever.
Yeah,
they're like,
absolutely.
You're going to be in here for a long time or something like that. And I sat up. I was like, wait a second. You're going to, take care of these kids? Congratulations, you now have 2 kids. I would have just thrown them into the water. Well, I wouldn't have, but if I were the villain in this movie...
Yeah, right, like, tie some sandbags to them and just toss them off a short pier or a long pier. I don't remember how that goes. Jimmy Hoffa,
a long
these
walk
kids.
Off a short pier.
Yeah,
I think that's what you're going for.
Thank you. But yeah, like just and like I don't know. Here's the thing, right? Is like here's a writing tip to what's this fucker's name? Brian Neeson. Lend me thine ear, because I'm gonna give you a writing tip here. Yeah, your villains can throw these kids off of a pier, and they cannot die from that. They can escape using their cool spy gadgets or something, right? And that would be a movie.
That would almost be a movie. I am 99% sure that happens in one of the recent James Bond movies. Isn't that why he was naked and sexy for that one bit? Not naked, but he's in like a Speedo. Am I remembering right?
I have not seen a James Bond movie outside of Skyfall. Oh, sorry. And I've seen all the Austin Powers movies, but...
Okay.
I'm not proud of that.
Bold stances here on the...
But it's true.
Video.
So
we believe that the Austin Power movies are James Bond movies.
I have seen 3 times more Austin Powers movies than James Bond movies.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
So these kids are trapped in a fucking dungeon. The Marquis reveals himself to be evil, feeds some bread to rats in a scene that is honestly a little too dark for this movie.
The movie has such a hard time with it because the Marquis didn't even need to come here and gloat. So, like, what are we doing?
It doesn't make sense, but, like, yeah, he comes here and he gloats, and then he also yells at some dudes, like, to finish making his submarine faster because Antonio's going to be coming back in a few days or something. The kids escape using a skeleton key.
Except, no, this is important. They use a dumb clockwork piece of shit music box thing because Rogers made it, and we, of course, never learned about it. And I don't know, man, I'm just mad.
No, I get you, because here's the thing, right, is Lucas puts it into his lock, and it unlocks it, right? It does a do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. It's unlocked, cool. He then takes it out, puts it in Elisa's lock, and then just turns it, and it unlocks.
Yeah, well, they couldn't do that whole thing again.
I get that. Then don't do it at all.
In a better world, Andy.
If you're not going to commit to the bit, and I need to see it twice. If you're going to do this to me, because then it tells me that Roger made this stupid clockwork skeleton key and gave it a mode where it makes the most noise. Like, oh, and this is the get captured mode, by the way. Don't put it on that mode if you're using it.
And a mode where it makes no noise.
You want to use it on the no noise mode. Yeah, if you want to, like, really betray somebody, give it to them and then put it on the noise mode. But other than that, only use it on no noise mode.
I can't believe I have to explain this to you children.
to you kids, but you're children, so I never know with you. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go cross-dress as the queen for the next step in my ridiculous plan.
Which comes very close to working.
They escape, but then they don't escape because they're being chased around the city, right?
They escape, but it's a messy escape. Like, they have to use all their tools. They have to use their different weapons to, like, blast everybody. It gets really tedious really quickly.
They go through pretty much every single spy tool that they were given in, like, one scene, this is some bad GMing. You gotta spread this stuff out.
Yeah. So now they're outside, and I don't know, Number 9 and Puffin are trying to help them make a cleaner getaway, and they keep running around. You're right, they have to just do a bunch of other, like, dodging. This is when it feels like a poorly made stealth game for a while.
A little bit. It also kind of feels like, remember the, like, 60s Scooby-Doo when, like, they would just be running around a hallway in ways that didn't make sense?
Oh, sure. I mean, every Scooby-Doo since then has at least played with that idea.
It kind of does that, but not on purpose. It's just the framing of the shots is so bad. I kept losing track of where they were.
If this movie would just go to a little bit of trouble to be fun, that would be just wonderful.
This lasts so long. This movie is 70 minutes.
Oof.
By the way, I want to let the audience know at this point, this movie is 70 minutes. We have almost been talking about this movie for as long as it's running, but those 70 minutes feel...
You feel it. You feel
like an eternity.
Minute.
This movie is paced like 2021.
Sorry, I get so tired with this movie. So what are they doing now? Are we with Rogers? What happened?
I don't even give a shit about what Roger is doing. Just know that the entire time that the kids are doing their dumb shit, Roger is also trying to not let Umberta and Antonio fall in love.
Right.
So the kids go to the king, where Elise proceeds to do an even wilder bait and switch than before.
Yes. So here's the thing. We neglected to mention, because it's frankly a wild plot point anyway. Elise recognizes her grandfather's sword, Odette's dad's sword. on Agent 47. And so she's like, well, I'm not leaving without my sword. That's where there was all the sneaking, because they weren't trying to leave, they were trying to get the sword. They were trying to get back to the thing, to the castle, so they could get the sword. Anyway, it's really dumb. She puts all of her friends in danger.
For the sword of a guy that not only did she not know, she's not even related to.
Not even related to. Who cares? But she sure does it.
She asks the king for the sword back, and then also asks him to give them a tour of where the fish are sorted. And at this point, the Marquis is like, we gotta set this plan into drive. We've been in park for a little too long.
The great thing about it is the Marquis is right there the whole time. And she's not being subtle. She's like, I am outplaying you. This is me outplaying you. And so this guy's like, well, I guess we gotta fucking go. We have to do it now.
Yeah, these kids have pushed our plan to the limits. I was half expecting him to like pull out a gun, but no, he loses the kids.
Because you still thought he was Agent 47.
Yeah, I was
you were like, he's gonna pull out a silenced pistol now and just cut his losses.
And then run to the end of the level.
Yeah, he has to get on the submarine so that he can exit the level. That's how it works.
So that he can exit the level, but so he loses the kids, but he does get the king at dagger point and escorts him off the premises. The kids end up in the sewers where they use Elise's grandfather's sword to reflect the light of the moon into a mirror to Morse code a kingdom that is hundreds, if not thousands of miles away.
Yep. Honestly, as far as, like, unscientific stuff goes, this is, like, the least unscientific thing that happens.
This, to me, is up there with that one scene in Totally Spies where they reflect a laser between two hand mirrors. The moon is not that bright, and if it was, it would be burning a hole through the mantle.
Here's the thing, is I have never seen an episode of Totally Spies, but for some reason I know the scene you're talking about. I don't know why that would be, but they could catch it in the mirror, basically. Like, reflecting it means that they have the laser now.
Yeah, they've caught it like a fly.
Oh my goodness. What a hilarious move.
I watched the shit out of that show as a kid. I don't know why. I think that what it was is that it was on after Winx Club, but before Yu-Gi-Oh! So I was like, I guess I'm watching this because I don't want my sister to take the TV back. But I ended up really liking it. You
can't not be sitting in front of the TV.
Yeah, if I give up that time, it's gonna be like a Mary Kate movie for the rest of the day. I gotta hold this fort, and that means I have to watch Winx Club and Totally Spies before I can watch Yu-Gi-Oh!
God, it somehow gets even more convoluted. So, yes, the message they send is to check the treasury, where all the gold that Odette's kingdom has gathered.
Not the actual treasury where they keep all of their personal gold.
They presumably have treasure.
But their public donation treasury, which is just where all of the other boat stuff is.
I don't know why you're saying it like this. Yes, that's a normal thing. But here's the thing, it turns out that the treasury has been robbed, which is such a revealing of your hand for no reason.
Because if you just waited a couple more days, it would have been on your boat anyway.
And then he would have just left, and it's also revealed that his boat has the hatch to connect with the submarine because he's going to use the submarine as an escape boat. But, like, why do you need a second escape boat? You're on your own boat.
No, Tony. No. The submarine is for the Marquis, who's going to put the king in the submarine, show Antonio that he has the king. Antonio's going to dump some gold into his submarine, and then the Marquis and the king are going to go live in Honolulu while Antonio returns to the kingdom with the boat still full of treasure that he stole to claim the title of king.
That's the plan?
That's the plan.
I already thought this plan was convoluted before they were going to try to just walk Antonio down Main Street and be like, yeah, he's the king now. You know, he had the other king kidnapped. That's how you do it. What?
So, but what Antonio doesn't know is that, okay, so he's stolen the treasure. Umberta's furious. She wants revenge. Rogers gives up the gamut. He tells Odette and Derek that he has recruited the kids to do spy stuff, and they are currently in another kingdom doing spy stuff. But it's okay. They've told me that they're safe.
Yeah, which was honestly, that was, I don't know, it was like kind of nice. They were like so not safe, but they're like, there's no reason to worry Rogers.
If we tell him this, he will die of an aneurysm.
Right.
And then no one's going to know we're here.
Derek and Odette need to spend more time being pissed at Rogers.
I feel like there are very few things I think that somebody could do if they are my trusted Lord Marquis or whatever the fuck he is.
Right.
That would make me go, hey, I'm hanging you. But recruiting my adopted child to be a spy in another nation is probably up there. Maybe number 2, right? Like short of doing a coup.
Right.
Like this is their only heir, right? Like this is all they have. They're not making kids.
No, we've established
I guess they could go find another one.
They could go murdering some more adults.
You gotta go blow up. Rogers, you don't understand how long it took us to set up an accident that would look plausible to adopt a child. Now we have to do that again. So Derek is like, I'm gonna hop on a ship by myself and go save the day. And Odette doesn't even let him say, you should stay here before she says, I should stay here.
Why? Why should you stay here?
Well, she's got to practice her singing lessons.
To practice her singing. It's just like, what? Are you sure? Are you sure, Odette?
We know for a fact that Odette has some chops when it comes to fighting people and saving things.
But it's like they needed to remove Odette, even though this movie has like a female lead. It's not like they were like, oh, Odette's a girl, she can't fight. Like they have Elise doing all the dumb spy shit.
They've had her do more dangerous things in other movies.
Like, constantly.
She's dodging lava in the second one. I don't know. But Odette, she can't go. She's tired. And maybe in her mind, she's like, who knows? Maybe they'll all die out there, and I just have this kingdom to myself.
She's like, finally, can really splay here.
Some alone time. All Derek wants to talk about is how good at archery he is. Which he doesn't do anymore, right? He doesn't do archery anymore.
Nah, he always goes in with swords now. That's not fair. He does some archery in this one. He doesn't do it the way I would do it, which is shooting the bad guy.
That'd be too easy. He needs to give himself a challenge. And we'll get to it, but it is way too easy for him. He's like a character that has finished the MMO campaign, and like he's just so not challenged by the fight at the end of this movie. Unlike the kids who have stolen the submarine. I don't remember when they did this.
Okay, so here's what happens. They go up through the sewer, steal the submarine, fucking somehow. I was barely paying attention.
They do get captured again, I think.
Oh, fuck, they do, because Bruno shows up. Yes, they get captured in a big, hilarious net. Like, they just had a big net for kid capturing sitting around. So they get captured.
Maybe they were saving it for the king, because when the king shows up, the Marquis really does have like a... Shit, I guess I'm just going to tie you to these stairs, because we already used our big net. I don't know where the big net is. It was around here somewhere, but...
All the money went to the net, and I don't have like a second thing.
So I'm just going to half-ass tie you to these stairs.
Yes, this is what happened. They get netted. Number 9 realizes something's up, and just kind of wanders in and saves them from their net.
Kills Bruno, I have to assume, because we never see him again.
Look, the good guys are allowed to kill people. They're the good guys.
Number 9, I think, might have one of the highest body counts in the Swan Princess franchise at this point.
Yeah, considering none of the bad guys are allowed to kill anybody, and the good guys their only thing is dying for a little while and then coming back.
So they get in the submarine and they just take it. They replace it with the balloon, I guess. And they hook up the submarine to the boat without Antonio noticing.
Even though that should not be possible.
That is some bad engineering right there. Like,
honestly, he should have to have a button on his thing that opens up his side of the...
Right?
It doesn't matter, but, like, this is poorly designed.
These two children and cat pour, like, hundreds of pounds of gold into this submarine.
Very quickly. I thought they were going to be caught before they could get all the gold, but they are moving.
Hustling these kids.
Yeah.
But then rats show up, scaring number 9. Elise goes to get number 9. And Antonio, the dogs are, because number 9 is in the hold, the hunting dogs are with Antonio now somehow, even though I'm pretty sure they were with Bruno.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. They traded at some point, somehow.
Yeah. The hunting dogs start barking at the hold, so Antonio's going to go to check it out. But then what Elise does is she saves number 9, picks up a rat, throws it out the hole, and Antonio's like, ha, 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 it's just a rat.
Yeah, get the rat. I actually thought that was kind of clever. But that's just because sometimes Elise is allowed to do something. Not often.
Yeah, not often. It was pretty cool. But it doesn't work out because Antonio turns around and immediately notices, like, wait a minute, this is a strip of black cloth. There must be children down there.
Only children wear black cloth. I mean, who else have you ever seen wearing black cloth, Andy? Nobody.
That's true. I've never.
So he goes down there and captures Lucas, which comes to nothing. Literally nothing. Made me furious.
Not only does he capture Lucas, he fires like 4 cannons at Elise.
Which is weird because, like, didn't he want all of that gold?
He says something about, like, fine, I hope you can savor that gold at the bottom of the sea.
Yeah, I mean, he gets pretty dark about it, but also, like, you're not going to have that gold anymore, my man.
We then get possibly the wildest editing choice in the history of any of these movies. Because our heroes they're down on their luck. Elise is dead, maybe. I don't know. Lucas is dead, maybe.
Very clearly got away. Lucas might be dead.
The king is dead, maybe. I don't know.
And what happens, Andy?
We cut to Elise, who's looking at a portrait of her father, who's dead, maybe. I don't know.
Wait, not Elise.
Oh, sorry, Odette. And she starts singing the worst song in this movie. Is that true? I mean... Maybe.
It's a 3-way tie, Andy. I don't know what you want me to say.
And the movie decides that that her singing this song is going to be the leitmotif of the next scene, which is Antonio gloating about his victory, Derek showing up and being like, no, and then they fight in slow motion. And the entire time, Odette is just singing her heart out about how all you want is peace, but sometimes you can't get it or something.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it's about. Whatever. The song is called... I have the song list right here. I lost it. Here it is. Home to Me. She's just singing about how she wants her kid back, which is reasonable.
Derek proceeds to just completely destroy Antonio.
It's not even a contest in, frankly, the most boring way imaginable. It's just like nothing happens. He keeps, like, knocking his sword out of his hand, like, multiple times. Like, this is nothing.
And it's all in slow motion, so it's even slower and more boring than you want it to be.
And honestly, this whole time I was waiting for Antonio to be like, back off or I'll kill Lucas. But Lucas isn't here. He's just, like, sitting in the hold, I guess. Just chilling.
Yeah, with a broken-ass leg.
He's fine. Whatever.
Derek finally gets Antonio and is like holding him over, like, a railing and is like, you have hurt everything I've ever loved in the world.
Except for Odette, really.
Except for Odette.
Well, but I guess if Elise got hurt, Odette would be pretty hurt. So, you know, we can let this slide.
Yeah, you've emotionally hurt my wife, emotionally hurt my mom, physically hurt my kid, physically hurt the other kid who I have some connection towards.
Because of a ghost chipmunk. You remember.
Yeah. also figures out at this point that he did the dam, and so hurt all those people, who I guess he also loved.
That spelled out, but...
No, but Derek's got a big heart. It's so full of love for all of these people, and he doesn't fucking kill this guy.
No, nobody is allowed to either kill or die in these movies anymore, and it is exhausting. It is, like, emotionally exhausting because nothing happens. You watch an entire movie where nothing happens.
Umberta's there? I don't remember... no reason for her to be there. She's just there.
Well, she was there because she wanted personally to get revenge. You gotta let her have those character quirks.
Yeah, she forces Antonio... At death point, forces Antonio to ask for her hand in marriage.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So that she can save face and be like, I would never marry you.
Yeah, honestly, I see what they're going for, but the whole time in this movie, Uberta has come off as so desperate and pathetic that this does not help that even a little.
No.
Like, she's still exactly as desperate and pathetic.
Just in the opposite direction.
Right.
Derek lets Antonio go. Antonio goes to just knife him in the back. I think I might have fallen asleep a little bit here, because I don't remember how they get out of that one.
Oh, you know what? It's Elise. She shows up somehow, even though she was on a submarine. She is now in the rigging of this ship, and she swings down and kicks Antonio into... the like side boat, the like long boat.
A lifeboat.
Yeah, and he rows away like he is Long John Silver, which he hasn't earned.
and everyone's like, well, I guess that's the end of our story. Cut to the Marquis, who has kidnapped the king.
Right.
He goes to the submarine and pulls the tarp off of it, and oh no, the submarine's gone, it's a balloon. How can this be, he says, and he turns around, and the king is there, and he's like, well, Marquis, it looks like you've fallen into my trap. You see, Marquis, I've only been pretending to believe your lies and Antonio's lies for the past who knows how long. I've actually been waiting for you guys to fuck up so immensely, so thoroughly, so completely at the hands of two children that I did not know existed, that I could arrest you and the people wouldn't get mad at me.
Honestly, that's very dumb, but it is also the only explanation ever given for anything in this movie that I'm like, yeah, okay. Because I kind of get, like, it's like catching Al Capone on something real. Like, too many people like Al Capone for you to just...
Yeah, you can't arrest him for all of his crimes.
But yeah, it's dumb.
It's such a gambit. It's such a gambit that, like this Gandalf-looking motherfucker has been planned... like, I don't know, at what point, right? Where was the end game for this, right? Like, there's no way he could have known.
Yeah, he was just waiting for him to slip up. For how long? How
many other kingdoms have been flooded by this guy? Like,
right, and then how many other kingdoms are now destitute because they tried to help the flooding people, which is a real plan that somebody could have, don't at me.
And multiple times. We're at the end of the movie. Lucas, his leg's broken, but he's somehow gotten over his shame at being a lowly peasant, and decides he's going to hang out with Elise tomorrow because his leg is mostly better.
I guess because he's such a good spy now. It's really unclear.
Roger is like excited that these two kids are finally hitting it off, and accidentally agrees to marry Umberta in the process. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, who cares?
So finally, this plot thread that these movies have been stringing along for fucking 7 movies has been fulfilled.
Yeah, you know what? That was really what was keeping me hooked, Andy. Now they'll have to, I don't know, go to China, I think.
Oh, that's like 2 movies away, my guy.
I know, it's just so silly.
That's where we're going to end up somehow in the next 2 movies. Lucas shows up at the castle with his broken leg because this movie's not over yet, and Elise throws him a surprise party where Derek reveals that he is now a prince, because it's that easy. I
mean, arguably it's that easy when you are a king. I guess Derek's not even a king, actually, come to think of it. But yeah, I mean, look, There's probably a paper to sign. Honorary prince? Did he just adopt this other kid? You know he has parents, Derek. Derek, stop.
You can't just... Yeah, Derek, you can't... Oh no, there's a fire at the tulip fields, Lucas, and you can't do anything about it.
Derek, no.
Trapped here in this castle. With us, your new mom and dad. With our empty eyes and poreless skin.
Okay, but it's not like Derek's parents have visible or it's not like Lucas's parents have visible flaws.
And that's the end of the movie. We did it.
Sorry, I just forgot that in this movie nobody has teeth, and it creeps you out if you start to notice it.
I'm pretty sure that Antonio has teeth.
But Odette sure doesn't. Plopped in her dentures.
Oh god, dude! I am looking at at some of these screenshots on IMDb, and they do have teeth, just tiny little gravestones of teeth, and it is actually, looking at it, worse. That
excellent.
These teeth are so detailed for their mouths. It's ridiculous.
Anyway, it's a bad movie.
How many swans were princessed and princesses were swanned in this movie? None.
No. What about... Oh, wait, no. That didn't happen. No. We are so far off the map at this point. Swans do not get princessed anymore. Princesses do not get swanned. It's over. We're done with that part.
I have never seen a franchise so disrespected by its own owner. It's so just like disgustingly like even the Land Before Time sequels have more dignity than this. Can you believe that?
Look, some of those sequels are probably good. None of these sequels have been anything. It's not even that they're bad, it's that they're nothing.
They're empty, right? Like, the best ones are just doing the first movie again. And those were the first 3.
And I'll tell you, just because they're the best ones, that doesn't automatically make them good.
No. It's bananas to me because, like, this is Richard Rich's baby. He's been directing these since the first one. And he's just, like, there's no sense of, like, any amount of care at all. It's thrown away, right? Like other franchises, let's say. Let's go back to Land Before Time, actually.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell when it's handed off, you know?
Right. There's a moment where you're like, okay, nobody cares about this project anymore.
Yeah, like once you get to like movie 5 is the height, but I honestly want to say movie 3 is when it really is like, you know what? We're just doing this to sell VHS tapes to kids, toys to kids, whatever. There's no belief in the art of the thing anymore. This is just money.
We do not love this movie.
Yeah. But like, I don't know. It's baffling to me, right? Like this is the guy who did Swan Princess, and he did this one too.
He sure did.
I don't want to talk to Richard Rich because I don't think that conversation would go anywhere. I would love to talk to Brian Nissen. You know who I want to talk to?
I want to talk to good old, what's his name?
Yuri Lowenthal?
You know what? You're right. Talk to Brian Nissen. I can talk to Yuri later. We can get an idea of what all the Dereks think of this.
Oh my god, Brian Nissen voiced Derek in the 3rd movie? What the fuck?
Yup, he did.
Holy shit, my god.
You know, we talk about how bad this movie is, but really, we keep on finding new stuff about it.
I'm just so baffled by this. And, like, we're not done. This motherfucker goes on to direct 3 more movies.
Yes, it does. Including one released in 2021.
Are you shitting me, really? Oh, God, really? No, that soon? I thought it was 2020.
You know what? This was... I just found it on... I lost it again. I had it on this wiki article, but there was actually nothing filled in on it. So it might be that it was never released. So I actually wouldn't worry about that one too much.
There's like a fear in my heart, right? That like, I'm going to look at this Wikipedia page, right? And there's going to be another one.
What a bad franchise.
And can you believe the next one we're watching is called A Royal Mystery?
Can you believe that some asshole made us watch these movies?
Pray. I don't normally ask this of you listeners, but if you're out there, pray for our souls. We do these in pairs. We're going to watch at least one more, and then after that, we might just have to take another year-long break.
Not from the podcast, just from watching movies.
I had a stress stream about watching this. Did I tell you that?
No.
I was like, there was like a moment where I was just like, oh God, I have to watch this. And then I woke up.
Like, that's the entirety of the dream, realizing you have to watch this movie?
Yeah, because I forgot that I had to. Until Thursday hit, and I was like, I need to watch this sometime today. And I watched it at midnight this morning.
Astounding.
I cannot believe that we've been recording for this long, but I do think this is the one. It's hard to get back on the saddle when you've been off the horse for so long.
We're probably gonna have to cut some stuff. It's fine.
We didn't go as off tangent as we normally do this time, though.
No, but we'll probably just cut some ums or whatever, tighten it up a little.
Lots of just long 10-second silences as we have to realize the next words that we're about to say. If you enjoyed this, you can go to directto.video where we have more episodes. You can go through the whole Swan Princess franchise with us.
The first one was good. That's the great thing about these movies, really, is that there was one good one, and then never again.
I have not seen Anastasia. At some point, that is going to change. But, I feel like there are some people out there where Swan Princess is like that for them. It's that not Disney princess movie that they just loved. That movie still holds up a little bit. It's a fun time. It's weird. It's got, a lot of weirdness to it, but it's nice. But at least Anastasia is kind of still it's no one's touching that. No one's touching that movie ever again. Disney's putting that shit in the vault. You can't even watch it anywhere. That's not true, but that's probably going to happen. It's amazing what a franchise can live through. If you care enough to keep pumping that corpse full of electricity and walking it out the door. So where can I know I kind of already jumped the gun here, but where? So thank you for listening to Direct to Video. I've been your host Tiger Busto, and you can find me on Twitter at PeterBets and at inspiredbytrueevents.org. Mona's glaring at me for suddenly being loud. You can find me on Twitter at royalty_valens. You can also find my other podcast at timehonoredpictures.com. We are rapidly approaching World War II and have yet to find solace. Our next episode is as of this recording, I believe our next episode is going to be a movie called The Awful Truth. And if you'll believe it, it's the awful truth is that's how good the movie is. So keep your ears out for that. And thank you for listening to this episode of Direct to Video. And thank you to Lee Rosenfear for Planet E off the soundtrack Trappist 1. Oh, I am tired. It's been a while since I've done one of these, and it's tiring. Yeah, my heart is hardened because over winter break I have not stopped watching these terrible old movies. So I'm still in that my emotions are still steeled. And this one still took a lot out of me. Honestly, it's the talking about it that hurts. It gets worse. It gets worse. If it's a good movie, sometimes it gets better. Sometimes it feels really good. But this was a slog. I'm not even convinced I said anything this episode. I'm pretty sure I just sat here slack-jawed while you described whatever happened in this movie. Well, we only got one more of these, and then I'll hand it off to you, right? And we can watch a fun movie, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if I have any fun movies lined up. We got a lot of weird stuff that we've been planning to do for a while, so I'm sure there's one of them in there that's good, right? Maybe? I'm the ghost of John Smith. You'll be happy to know that we are still taking care of Mavis's aunt's cats. They are still living with us. Mm-hmm. At some point, the determination of whether or not they are our cats is going to need to be made, but I don't want to think about that right now. her aunt came to visit like back in December, and the cats were like, "We don't know who you are. You're a stranger to us." Like, oh no, that's not good.
This is a troubling development.